Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Reuben, Freedom Lifestyle, Vibe and Events.
My name is Yello from Code Black Records, TV Islands.
And we've got special guests here today. You might know these guys from some classic hits, but I'm just going to get straight into it. We've got DJ Yella from N.W.A, and we've also got Lil Eazy-E, so son of legendary Eazy-E, Ruthless Records. Welcome, guys.
How you doing?
Yes, indeed, man. It's a pleasure.
So
And,
good.
yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, first off, we'll just talk a little bit about how your guys' career started. We'll get into that for starters, and how you guys got into music, your interest in music.
Well, I started off with music when I was young. I played the drums,
Yeah.
and nobody taught me how to play anything. I just got on the drum set and started playing. Because a couple of my older brothers played drums also, but yeah, I just got on the drums, started playing.
Okay, so you had your family were already musicians, or they just you had instruments at home, or how did that
Well,
the accessibility?
my brother had drums.
Okay.
He played in a band, a little local band or something.
Okay.
And I just went in the garage one day and played the drums.
Yeah.
I can hear what he's playing, and then I could just play it.
So the transition from learning the drums, I think, because I've heard on songs you say I used to fuck it up at Compton. So you were
I played. I was in the band,
Yeah.
the marching band in
Okay,
11th grade. Then I became the drum major in 12th grade.
Yeah.
So I used to play the drums at Compton High. That's where that came from.
Okay, cool.
On the
so
song.
that's sort of your introduction to music, and then the music came after with you and Dre and them, and N.W.A, or
No, go deeper than that.
yeah. Okay.
Go real deep.
Yeah.
I was in the band in high school. I got out of high school, and then I became a DJ at a nightclub called Eve After Dark.
Okay. Yeah.
And their crew was called the Wrecking Crew. But it was just me, a guy named Unknown DJ, and then a guy named Lonzo was the owner. So that's where, to me, entertainment started for me.
Okay.
And I was a DJ for a couple of years, and I became the top DJ in L.A. And then a young kid came around named Dre.
Okay.
Then he came around. But I went through making bootleg records, mixtapes, all that ahead of everybody out there.
So you were the introduction to that.
I mean, I don't know if I was the introduction, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
I did a lot before Dre even came to the picture.
Yeah.
And then when Dre came in the picture, then that's when we became the DJs. And then that's when we started tapping into music.
So that idea there, so was basically, I've seen the movie Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
So the idea of starting or doing your own music, was that your guys' idea before Eazy came into the picture, or he sort of sparked the idea?
This was done.
Yeah.
We was DJs, then we started doing music as the Wrecking Crew, and we did 2 albums, and a couple of singles. So we had already been doing music, already.
So whose idea, how the transition from, because it was more of an R&B based, or
it was more electronic.
Electro.
It was electro.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the transition from that rapping, hip hop? How would you say
Well, we
that
rapped
happened?
in that electronic.
Okay.
It was rapping
cool.
there.
Yeah.
But then it changed when his daddy, Dre already knew his daddy. I didn't know him. And he brought him around. That's when they made Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
And that's when that transition started.
So
we was right at the tail end of the Wrecking Crew. Because we wasn't making any money or anything.
Yeah.
At all. So that was a ship came by, we jumped on it. And the rest is history. But it all started doing music here, but then we just brung it into there, and the music totally changed.
So when you made Boys in the Hood, so was all the music made in the same place, or did you go through stages where you recorded the music from home, and then you got a deal, so you had to re-record it quality-wise, or you already had the quality?
One thing about us, we never did demos. or promos or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call them nowadays.
Yeah.
But we didn't make demos for a person to hear. We just did the music.
Okay, yeah.
And then, his daddy paid for, the studio and stuff. Same studio we recorded out the Wrecking Crew because we knew that studio. And when we went in the Wrecking Crew, that was our first time being in the studio.
Okay.
It was like young black kids.
Yeah.
What they know about a studio?
Yeah.
Because back in them days, everybody didn't have a studio.
Yeah.
Just like right now, we couldn't have this
Yeah.
phone and this
The
like that.
accessibility
No,
of-
you had to have the real stuff.
Yeah.
But that's what we did. We went to the studio, same studio. We knew it. And him and his daddy made the first song, Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Then Dre came to me and said, hey, I'm starting this group. Do you want to come? Because we was at the end of the Wrecking Crew. And I said, okay. Boom. That was it. And we was gone from there.
So that happened after Boys in the Hood was made, or was it before?
No, that was after Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
Boys in the Hood was made while me and Dre was still in the Wrecking Crew.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because Boys in the Hood was originally made for somebody else from New York.
Yeah.
So I wasn't there. I only go by the movie of what happened. I have,
Yeah.
his daddy ended up doing the song, and it's
So
like
it's-
history.
I've seen like just researching the album took like 6 weeks to put together or something. Or was
The
it longer
album,
than that?
no, the album probably took 4 weeks or something.
4 weeks.
Yeah, it didn't
Ah,
take
okay.
very long. If 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And we ain't talking about 7 days a week. We talking about Monday through Friday.
Do you think it was like quick because he had already pre-prepped a lot of beats and then the beats were like there and
No,
or
we
was it-
made-
no?
We made songs per day, one song per
Okay,
day.
Yeah.
The beat comes first, and then the lyrics and the title and stuff.
Okay.
But that's how it was done. The music was first, then the lyrics. Everybody write while they there. We didn't go home, take tapes or whatever and go. No,
Yeah.
it was all done in the studio.
So with like Straight Outta Compton, you've got like the beginning period, like you got Straight Outta Compton, you got Easy Does It. With those two albums specifically, because they were sort of in the same.
Well, them.
lifeline, was it? Like it's.
Well, we did the singles first, "Boys in the
Okay.
Hood,"
Yeah.
and then what was "Dope 8 Ball"? That's his
yeah.
daddy's song,
Yeah.
and then "Dope Man."
Which album come out first? Was it Easy Does It? or-
Easy Does It came
Okay.
out first.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whose idea. I don't know if it was Dre's or his daddy's. The idea was we're the same group, but let's split it and make 2 different groups.
Yeah.
Double the money.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. If you look at his daddy's first album, Easy Does It, all of us is there, and then we did the N.W.A. album.
Yeah. Cool.
The N.W.A. album really was fast. That was about 3 weeks or something.
Oh yeah. So with the writing, like I've seen a lot of credits, people saying like DOC. You got Ice
Slow
Cube.
down, slow your roll, Reuben. DLC came during the making.
Oh, okay.
Dre met DLC when we was in the Wrecking Crew, when we did a show in Texas. He lived there. That's how that happened. But DLC, Cube wrote the first songs for his daddy. The Boys in the Hood, the 8 Ball, Dope Man, stuff like that. DLC's writing came kind of later during his daddy's album, then Straight Outta Compton, and then the last album.
Okay. Yeah.
So his daddy started liking DLC's writing because DLC's writing was so smooth, and it just like his daddy ended up liking them more because he can learn the words better.
Yeah.
For some reason. The other ones, like Boys in the Hood, all that was done line by line by line. In the movie, they portrayed it line by line. That's how it really.
Was that just easy line by line, or everyone?
Only
was
E.
doing- Okay.
Because he wasn't a rapper.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wasn't a natural rapper.
Yeah.
But it sounded like once we
Yeah.
put it
for
together,
sure.
it sounded like he's killing them.
It definitely like when I remember like listening to the album for the first time when I was young, and his voice stood out like that.
That's
like,
the key.
yeah.
The key to all this success was his daddy looked like a kid, and had a different sound than anybody.
That high
And then
pitch
his
sound,
lyrics,
yeah.
what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's like he got a big old sledgehammer. It was just so far ahead of the game.
Yeah. I love what they did with it too. Like they'd always leave them like the impact shot, you know, like big impact at the end a lot of the times, and the beat changes up, you know, and stuff like that. Just them elements were like.
I mean,
really
it
cool,
just
creative,
see our way of thinking of making an album was like DJs. If you notice on the albums, we were the first one to start putting little interludes or commercials in between the songs. Nobody else did that.
Yeah, that's cool.
We started that because we wanted the album just to flow like a mixtape.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why we started doing that.
Talking about flow, I'm fascinated about Eazy's timing when he's delivering his verses. It really captures you. He holds it the last second, and just his delivery is just masterclass.
But if you had him just stand there and just try to rap, oh no, that's just not him. He's a businessman.
Well, obviously,
he's a lover.
He would have got used to it though, I guess. After, he didn't.
No, he's not a rapper. Even on stage, it was the same way. He forget words. I'm not gonna say like somebody else, but this one do, just like his daddy. It's just he had the look and the sound, and then his lyrics was a huge impact. You know, our lyrics was only about Compton. It wasn't about nowhere else. But Compton is in every country. It may not have the name of Compton, but the ghetto, Compton style, it's in everywhere. That's why so many people can relate. And they can relate so much. The suburbs had it like, what is that? But it's like something, like we created something. Even though we created the West Coast sound, but we did stuff that we had no idea, no impact, never thought of it. Our mind was just right here, but we end up being all this around the world. But if we would have been thinking, we want to gold records, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Because with many artists before use like sampling that type of style of beats, you know, because I think like that's the sort of, and the fusion of the funk and stuff that, you know, use fused with hip hop to sort of create that sound.
Well, I mean, there's Public Enemy. They use samples. We used a lot of samples. We was also the first one to get sued for samples. We was the poster kids.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
No, I mean, we started it, but we was like DJs. So we made music like a DJ.
How was the pressure like? Because I know that like with even the parental guidance sticker that came from these guys.
And we also was the original of that.
Yeah, so these guys should make hats.
Because we actually both albums have radio versions, clean versions.
Yeah.
We had to make them so they could go into Kmart's and all the stores back then. Yeah. Because back then, all the stores sold records and stuff. So they didn't want all the cussing and all this stuff. So we had actually redid all the lyrics for a clean version. Yeah. Which was rare. Well, we was the only group that was cussing too. Nobody else cussed on, except the old comedy records, Richard Pryor's and stuff like that. They cussed, but not music-wise. We was the only
that's
ones.
why, like, you could say that, like, these were the original gangster rap.
We was original. I mean, that's the label they gave us. Yeah. It came from us. Then it turned to street music. Then it turned to hip, whatever it went to. Then it's West Coast, so we started a lot that we weren't even thinking about.
Yeah.
How was it like going home after the shows and just turning off from all the music and the hype and just getting back to family? And
well, which era are you talking about? When we made it or before we made it?
When you made it.
Well, when we made it, we didn't do very many shows. We did one tour. That was it. 1989, the tour. It was 40 shows, 40 cities, and that was it. And we went out the country one time to London, and that was after Cube left.
So that's with N.W.A. though. Are you talking about? Did you do tours and stuff after
No.
N.W.A. dispatched or
N.W.A. didn't. That was it.
So Eazy didn't do any tours
No.
afterwards on his own?
No.
No.
We did after Dre left. We did some few shows, just here and there, but no more tours. Even when our second album dropped, and this is the crazy part, our album dropped at #1. No other hip hop band did that. #1 on the Billboard, and we did not go on the road.
One question I had, like, with the selling out of the boot, before you even got a record deal. So like that hustle, was it all of you hustling, or was it just mainly Eazy hustling?
No, it was his daddy.
Yeah.
Because his daddy was the record company.
Because I can imagine like how many did he sell out the boot before?
No, it wasn't a boot. It was out of his car.
Out of his car, yeah.
Well, he'd deliver it at the swap meet. I don't know if there was any more other places he sold them.
Oh, okay.
But Warehouse eventually started getting them from the label. But when in the beginning, it was just...
So he wasn't like driving around place to place. He was just like, there's 2 specific spots he used to
couple
just
of,
hustle out of.
yeah. But he used to go pick them up and stuff like that. But he wasn't a shop or anything like that. But he sold them. But it was just his game, because his game came from drugs. Being in that for a minute.
Yeah.
He just was a businessman.
He's already working with
He
the
was
people,
a businessman. That's just how he was.
Yeah, cool. All right, so another question I had was like, so when Cube left N.W.A., what was the mood in the camp and the mindset? Do you think that, because I've seen interviews and you're talking about it was like a short period of time that between the Straight Outta Compton and 100 Miles and Running, and what was the period? And
what you're talking about is when Cube left, people thought we fell off. That's what it was. That's where 100 Miles and Running came from.
Oh, okay.
Because they thought we couldn't do it without Cube.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We wasn't mad, sitting around mad or anything.
Was that a long time between these?
Well, it took a while for 100 Miles and Running, because we had just got... Cube left right after we got back from the tour. That was it. He never came back around.
Yeah.
Right up, we got off the bus. That was the end of Cube. He left. And because that was 89. We took a little off, and I think 100 Miles and Running came out in mid-90.
Oh, okay. So
somewhere around mid-90 or something. So it wasn't, it just, we actually was waiting on his daddy to start working on his second album. But then we did that one just to put something out, because it was a mini EP, which was 5 songs.
Yeah.
So we had to put that out. And then after that, we wanted to work on his daddy's album. His daddy's album was ready. But people really don't know this, and the stories ain't out. Q wanted to do a solo album.
Oh, okay.
And his album we were set for his daddy's album. So I don't know if that helped.
Part of the...
I don't know if that helped just a little bit. He wanted his own solo album. But, we don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to ask him that one day.
So not long after the 100 Miles and Running album come out, is that when Dre left?
No. Dre didn't leave until after we finished the last album.
Oh, okay. Yep.
But we only did 2 albums. People think we did a bunch of albums. But like the album, what was the one with the original? They went back and redone it. It had everybody on the cover. All these people on the cover that wasn't in the group.
Yeah.
N.W.A. and the Posse. That album,
It's even got
that was songs made during the Boys in the Hood days and stuff like that. And all they did was just went to Macola that originally pressed it and just bought the album or took it or whatever they did. And they made that in between 100 Miles and Running and I think our last album, because we took a while. But we didn't put nothing out, but the company needed us, because we were so hot.
Yeah.
They needed us to come out with something. So they put that out. It made it like it was a brand new album. That finally went platinum too. So, and then we did the last one, Niggas for Life album. And then that's where it ended. We didn't have no arguments, nothing like that. It just dissolved. And we was at the top. We was at #1, the biggest rap group out there at the time.
Yeah.
And dissolved. No tour, no nothing. We were supposed to tour. We had a tour set up to go. But the venues and all this place, they was nervous because of the Police song originally.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't insure none of these places. So that tour didn't work. So me and Dre really wanted to go on that tour. But it didn't happen. And then after we finally finished the album, I had the masters. Because we mixed down to half inch, which is the best you can mix down to back in them days. I took them home. I have the album, and ain't no other thing. And then I dropped them off at Priority the next day, and that was the end. That was over. #1. How do a group just dissolve at #1? But now I see why it dissolved, because everybody had to go their own way.
Yeah.
Everybody. And then 30 years later, #1 again. With a
crazy,
movie, with all this, with all this.
Yeah. Yeah, because the dress style and everything definitely influenced a lot of people all over the country here. In the world,
you can tell about that. The Raiders. I mean, we see Raiders everywhere. People not even Raider fans. Don't even look at football. Don't even know what a Raider is. But we changed like a culture. We changed the style of hip hop, first of all.
Yeah.
Totally changed. Wasn't nobody wearing black and all that. You think about this. Public Enemy, Chuck D wore Raiders.
Yeah, true.
But it didn't take off.
Yeah.
Until we start wearing the black. And now every NFL team got a black jersey.
Yeah.
Alternate and stuff. It's crazy.
So in amongst all this, so a lot of the recordings happen, or the creating, was it in your guys' house?
No, never. No. Oh, you talking about the beginning? Yeah.
So this in the early days. So, where were you amongst this? Like, did you get to be amongst it, or like you get to see the creation, or like would you just get peaks of it? And,
nah. As a kid, we didn't care about music. I seen them more so when they came in, if they came in the house.
Okay.
Yeah, if they came in the house or anything like that. But being back there, nah. But I lived there ever since. Got to think. Yeah, about time they started, '86.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, living there. Living there since I was 2, or before that, really. Yeah.
So I'm not. We'll get back to the story, but when did you get inspired to become an artist?
I say at 18, out of high school. It wasn't my goal. It wasn't nothing that I was into. You feel me? Same story Yello would tell you about my father. I wasn't a rapper or anything like that. We used to play around only because you had a father who was in a group. So me and my brother used to change the words. But about 18, I moved to Vegas. Got out of high school. 2 days out of high school, moved to Vegas. Was going the same road. Into drugs and gangs. And I, was successful enough to get a record store and a studio. So we were putting out other artists. And as we got the studio built, a friend of mine, one of my older homeboys, he was like, why don't you get in there and just rap one of your daddy's songs? And I did. And then from that point on, it kind of I just went that way. And at that point, it was a lot of people getting respect for, like I think at that time it was 02. So I think 50 Cent was coming out, or on the way to come out. And, you kept hearing about Tupac, Biggie, this, that, and the other, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, they kind of shun out the individual who really started it. You feel what I mean? And I'm like, hey, well, if anybody can represent him, or, shout that out, or, keep pushing the name, will be me, myself.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, okay, cool. Let me just, found a niche in the lane that I felt like came down from him saying, hey, you know what I mean? Like, the record company got all this confusion of, you know, ownership, people doing this, and, you know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, well, you know, this is my lane that created for my family. You feel what I'm saying? So I just started representing my father.
Yeah, cool.
I didn't do it for myself. I didn't care about being no rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or, you know, being this, that, and the other, or accolades of this. It was just, hey, nah, I'm just going to represent the individual that started it. So people can't forget it, because I felt like maybe because of the fact of how he died, they shut away from him, you know what I mean? And okay, we just want to highlight, you know, but that's entertainment now as you think about it, you know what I mean? They want to highlight the individuals that's doing stuff to influence individuals to go the same damn route, you feel what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you know, he died of AIDS, you know what I mean? Like, you know, let's do a shoot under the rug. But how when that individual, like Yella said, you know what I mean? It was number one, how that individual, you know, started all this. And the crazy part about it is, as he says that they fell off, at a point in time, I work with Ruthless and know that Straight Off the Streets and the 5150 album all went platinum. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
so there could be some deeper involvement with that itself of how that happened. Is that what you mean? Like,
oh, as far as involvement of what happened,
how he passed, and
I mean, that's here or there. You know what I mean? You know, it could be, you know, resentful way, but I can't say the whole industry as far as, and you know what I mean, will think or has a thought process of that, but just the whole industry at a point in time they didn't highlight who he was and how he started this.
For sure. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
Because I'm just going to ask that, how do you feel now after making that decision and then taking that step? And
oh yeah, like I say, as now I did think it was, you know what I mean, it was more so, when I answered that, it was more so the older me saying, hey, you know, this was the lane that, you know, God blessed me with, to sit here and say, hey, okay, cool, well, this is a pass it down of, you know, you to create something for your family, because, you know what I mean, I mean, yeah, it was a blessing, you feel what I mean, it was a blessing.
Yeah.
If anything wasn't taken care of with his kids or his son or myself, from his record label, or, you know what I mean, what aspect that people feel like, oh, okay, cool, it should have been, you know what I mean, the stake should have been handed this way, I feel like, you know, I made a lane with taking that choice, you feel what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I'm on a road, I travel the world with Yella, you know what I mean? Where I've seen things that I never imagined me being a kid from Compton would ever see in my life. You feel what I'm saying?
It's an awesome link too, like, and we see it around the country, you know, like, myself beforehand, like, because obviously we're big N.W.A fans, you know, from like, back when we were young, you know, and seeing these guys advertise traveling together, and, you know, having someone from N.W.A, DJ Yello coming, and then yourself, you know, with, you know, it's, to us, it's amazing, eh? Like,
nah, real talk. Yeah. We went to places that you, like I say, you never thought you imagined. You see what I mean? Even one time, me and him went to Vietnam. You know what I mean? As a kid, I used to think like, you know what I mean, that's the war. You know, people used to go to Vietnam in the war, or if you was a veteran. But, you know, me being from Compton, I would never thought it. And like I said, travel the world, you know what I mean? And it came to the point of, when me and him first started, was before we did hip hop honors in New York, you know what I mean? And we kind of like orchestrated the show that we put on there. And, you know what I mean, that kind of catapulted to go on. And, you know what I mean, we've been from there to, they got a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They have a Grammy now. You feel me?
Another Hall of Fame, the Writers.
Yeah, you feel what I mean? So my journey felt like it was you know, it was due. You feel what I mean? Movie came out. Movie was real successful, and from that point on, it kind of even catapulted for me and him both as well, because of the fact of, now, as he said, like, they went #1 again. So it's like, hey, we want to hear that. If it's not Ice Cube, it's me and him. You feel what I'm saying? If it's not Cube, it's me and him that could give that to fans across the world to sit there and say, hey, we see it. And then on top of me and him, it's like, hey, we don't get to see the main person because he's not here, but hey, we can see his son.
Yeah,
you feel
right,
me? Do what he do.
Close.
Definitely,
You know what I mean? So
definitely, and people like can embody that when they come to the events. Even my wife was like, she's not, you know, a big hip hop. Like, well, she loves hip hop, but she's not a big hip hop fan from back in the day. She's more into R&B. But when she comes to the show, she's like, man, I really enjoyed the show. People don't know what they're missing out on, you know?
Yeah, real talk. I had individuals that seen me perform, you know, at sometimes, you know, he either go DJ or I go, you know, do a show. And those same individuals that seen it separately was like, hey, you know, you and him have like, you guys have like a qualm, like it's like, it's super energy, like it's a great show, you feel what I mean? Like how you guys you know, play off of each other. It's like, you know, that's the best I've ever seen you perform, Eric. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, it is. When this man comes with me, you got to drag him out. You feel what I'm saying? So,
you got to put up with all getting busted around too.
So if it's not Ice Cube who does shows, which is just Ice Cube and us, you know, it is us. You feel what I'm saying? That they get to experience that. You know what I mean? Dre's not doing anything. N.W.A, Ren, hopefully, you know, Yella can sit here and pull him out, you know, at the house and get him to go do something. But other than that, it's just us three. You know, you got Cube going and, of course, traveling the world as big as he is, and then you got us. So, yeah, it was a great choice and idea, you know what I mean? I've taken care of my family, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? I had the success of it, you know what I mean? I had the success of being on a TV show for 8 years, you feel what I mean? Having a, you know, record label of my own, you know what I mean? And somebody asked me, is like, hey, you know, just even being out with him, you know what I mean? Or he'll joke around, superstar, star, like, I did that, you know, in equivalent to like how he said, without a album. I haven't put an album out. You know, no album. You know what I mean? I put a single out on the internet.
I was gonna ask about that too, because like,
I did all this
you know,
without
music-wise, I haven't, like, especially on Spotify, I was looking up your music and, you know, back before when we started organising some shows and stuff, and I've seen a couple of clips, but then, you know, obviously you dropped that album with Daz.
Yeah, that was just last year.
Too, that album was real solid.
Just last year, but me and Yello been doing this decades. You know, you know what I mean? Like, so we've been doing this for decades.
So were you doing original music on the road too? Because I know that you got in your set, you got.
No, that's new. We just orchestrated that. Yeah, like the original music, what you asked about, is something we just implicated now, and the reason it's being is because our humbleness. Me and him will get on the road. We'll do our original set that we've been doing for a while, and you have kids or you have people come up and be like, hey. I wish you would have did this song. They follow songs that I just dropped on the internet. So I'm like, man, you know what I mean? Like, well, you know, come on, Yella, you know what I mean? And it stretches our show out. Like,
that's cool. And you got to put some stuff that's from you as well.
Yeah, some
free
people like, hey,
too.
We followed your father, you know what I mean? And you're like you say you're the closest thing to it, and we followed you. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we want to hear you. So I'm like, man, you know what I mean? Like, if we do our little VIPs and individuals tell you that, or they'll bring up a single that was dropped when I first was with Virgin Records. When I first got into music, I was signed to Virgin Records. So I had a song called Gangsta Shit, which was the only one that, you know, really got put out. And they'll be like following it. You know, I heard this song. I heard you drop this song. So after a while, I just sit here and said, hey, okay, cool. I did the Daz album. And like, you know, come on, Yellow, let's take it, you know, a little bit and put into our show. So, you know, and that's all, you know, like I say, all humbleness that they, you know, became a fan of me. You feel what I mean? And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, let's just put it in there. You feel what I'm saying? So, again, that's just recently. Other than that, we've been doing this, you know, for a long time. You know, doing that. So it was a great decision. Like, I used to play football. So, you know, like I said, if it wasn't going to be sports, I found a lane that sat there and, you know, I was able to provide for my family.
Yeah, that's
crazy. And at the same time, the main reason was keeping a legacy alive, which equivalent came to being beneficial to provide for my family.
Yeah, man, and Legacy album. That's crazy. That's the name of the album is Legacy, and
that's something you mentioned to his family. And that's like, since I've been in contact with you guys over a few months, is that's what I sense from you guys, you know, on the road, is that sense of family, but then also that there's also a private side of N.W.A as well. Then sort of, you guys are, like it or not, are the voice of the voiceless for people out there, especially in my community. You know, some of your father's songs and your songs as well, you know, the production, the story behind that really connects with Indigenous communities, especially on our islands. You know, you had the chance to visit as well. I guess, how do you feel, Yello, as well, but then also Eazy, you know, carrying it on, but seeing N.W.A staff from Compton in a small place where they're sort of growing legs now, and then sort of being the guardians of that and watching it. How do you feel? But
oh man, like I say, it's humbleness. Like I say, if it ain't Cube, it's us. And the thing about us is, we were the ones for the people. You know what I mean? We're not unreachable and untouchable. You know what I mean? So to me, it's a blessing because of the fact of, you know what I mean, we didn't. You know what I mean? He's a believer in God, you feel what I'm saying? And educated me as far as well as when we on the road. And, you know what I mean? One main thing about God is, you know, keeping humbleness. So we able to sit here and reach out and touch the kids or the youth. Not just doing it because of the fact of, oh, you know what I mean? We're going to make the, you know, this paper, you know what I mean? Are we making paper to the most of the ability? You know what I mean? To be real, he'll know, you know what I mean? we be lenient with individuals to sit here and come do a show because of the fact that we just know we can outreach individuals, so we might, you know, cheapen our price down just to sit here and get out and go do some certain things. You feel what I'm saying? It's not like, hey, okay, cool, me and him want 200,000 and we finna sit here and go there and just blow across the world. No, you have fun with doing it, and God bless us to do it, and we give back to being a part of the community, or even wherever we're at, to sit here and touch, you know, saying another individual or a group of individuals while we're here doing it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, solid.
Also, I want to speak on that too. We did the kids before in the States and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it was nothing like going to Tiwi Island.
Nothing.
That was some on the TV kind of stuff you see.
Yeah.
I've never been to that. I've never seen. It's just amazing. You know, they think we like Michael Jackson and all that, but we humble enough, taking pictures, signing stuff, you know, talking with whatever it is. A lot of groups don't do that.
No, yeah.
I'm telling you, they don't. They will not. Especially get on a plane at this is the size of the plane. Go to this little island.
If we mentioned that before we got to the airport, you might not have come.
Yeah, he was definitely been arguing. Beat on my door. Yeah, keep going. Like, man, listen, I don't feel good, but it was a beautiful feeling, like Yella said, because like I said, we do it in the States. We do it around, but to experience something like when we first came here, you get the knowledge. And of course, you see the difference of your group and your crowd, you know what I mean? And then you see these one individuals that relate to you and can tell you like, hey, I remember the first time my interaction was when the Aboriginal tell me, we're the you of Australia. We're like, you know what I mean, the brothers in Compton in Australia. And then he educated me like we're Aboriginals. And to sit here and see the motherland of that, you feel what I mean? Like, wow. Why? Because I just got heard of it when I first got out here, and you know what I mean. Now to actually really go there and see it, like wow, like Yella said, it's like on TV, and then like this dude told me, but I didn't really establish that it was like this. Like this is beautiful. So you just get educated on the original individuals from this country, and that's what you want to do. You feel what I'm saying? Just like I was telling the kids before, you know what I mean. Just like I think about N.W.A being original. Hey, we're the poverty of Southern California, you know what I mean? Like, we original individuals, you know what I mean? Brought over there to sit here, strive and do our thing, but, you know what I mean? Originality of the, real niggas, as I would say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to see that over here is beautiful.
I guess that was that push to actually show you guys the real Australia.
Yeah, real talk.
Yeah,
you hear stories, like I say, you know what I mean? Like, not to get into sad stories, but I had one fan tell me like, they came over here and we didn't know what guns and stuff, but we were using spears and we was doing this and we was fighting that way, and I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? And so it's just like to really just see that, like, okay, yeah, this is exactly how he looked. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly his people. When I walk around here, like we went out last night, and said, I'm saying like, yeah, it's all brothers. Like, hey, brother, you know what I mean? Like, I might walk by with, another individual, but he look at me, it's like, hey, what's up, brother? He was more, related with me. And I felt that, like, So it takes me back to my very first time when he said, we the people of you, like in Compton, here in Australia. And I get that vibe now every time I come out here. You know what I mean? I run across a brother, he's like, hey, brother. He may not speak with everybody in the group with me, but he can look at me and was like, what's happening, brother? And then he showed that respect. Excuse me, brother. You know what I mean? Excuse me, brother. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, now I feel it. And to see the motherland, it's like, I respect it. I appreciate it.
Just clarify, because a lot of people that are watching don't know, just a bit of background, because I'm from Brisbane, so Brisbane, Australia, but Yello, we're actually in the middle of a tour, actually at the end of a tour, and we're up here in Darwin, Northern Territory. Yello can sort of touch on a little bit of where we're at.
Yeah,
and stuff.
so it
can sort of help people understand what we're actually,
Yeah, I've got just to put everything into context. For a small record label such as ourselves, so we're a therapeutic music record label. Our passion is to use music as a vehicle to pass on positive messages, and it is a powerful tool. I mean, it is the universal language of the world, and having that kind of understanding, but also using music as a therapeutic vehicle to try and create change. But then somehow here we are sitting down with the godfathers of this particular genre. I don't know how I got here, but and then here we are sharing about you know, our journeys in music and life as well. So it's, you know, it's been a good journey, but to actually sit here coming from Milakapiti, where you've been to, and then
remember I told you yesterday when we was flying on the plane or we landed, I said, because you was telling me about you guys, that's your Ivans and all this, and I said, well, why you guys don't fly the planes and do all the, you know, do all the business?
Yeah.
That's what I'm just wondering. I mean, that's how progress.
Yeah.
Really progress.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
'Cause I guess
It's
Go to
definitely
school,
something
learn
that-
how to fly, take
yeah.
over business, buy a plane, you know, all this.
That's the thing, we've got, like, you know, taking these guys over to inspire them, and having people like Yello and James to help, you know, the community or people believe that they're capable of doing stuff, you know, capable of taking those positions.
Well, those talks, those talks that will last for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we could talk about a lot of things till the cows come home, but you know what you guys have actually delivered in an Aboriginal community.
Yeah.
That will, I don't know if it'll ever be done again. I mean, from you guys, from where you started to where you guys are now, and then where you guys go. And I mean, like I touched on earlier, you are the voice of the voiceless, and I think, you know, your music, your genre, your story, most importantly, has really resonated with my tribe on the islands, on the Tiwi. So it was interesting for me to see the interaction between you guys and then my tribe. But then what really knocked it on the head was when I explained about the 4 tribes we have on the islands and the 4 pillars, and then Easy touching on some of how it is in Compton about, you know, the blue side and the red side, and sometimes the blue side have conflicts with each other. And well, we have that back on our islands as well with tribes. So it is good to see how you translated that, but sort of found you know, common ground. And the kids really appreciated it. So that'll go a long way.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we could sit here and chat about a lot of things. Like, you know, there's a lot of history. Like, we could be here for hours, but we appreciate, like, just we got the chance to touch on a little bit, you know, like a bit of history with N.W.A, a little bit of Eazy-E. Like, it'd be awesome to chat more about memories that you have with Eazy and stuff in future, definitely. But, you know, we appreciate the time, appreciate having you guys over here, you know, getting out in the community, talking to the kids and stuff. That's been dope too, you know. That's what we're all about, trying to not only doing these shows, but trying to connect our people. So when I say people, I'm Polynesian, so I try to connect my people, also the locals, to the music scene. Knowing, being an artist myself from the music scene back in the day, I found it hard to get onto shows, you know, to be able to get onto be a support act when a big show come over. So I decided to make changes, do events myself, and then that way I could help myself, other artists get being support acts, and it's got to this point where we travel Australia and we help out other artists to get as support, you know, and connect too. So it's cool. But yeah, we all look up to you guys and appreciate everything that you guys have brought to the scene, and thankful that you have come to share your guys music with Australia.
No, we appreciate it. Appreciate you, Reuben, and Yella as well. You know what I mean? Like I say, brother, you blew our minds, man. When I go back home, I have these pictures and these videos to show my family, and you know what I mean? They're excited to sit here and learn about it, and when they get older, to sit here and travel and everything, to know about the originality of Australia, brother. So we appreciate you both.
I was just going to ask, what's the funniest memory or the best memory on tour so far?
That's a good one. I mean, because they're all good memories, you know. I think the best to me is flying on that plane and going to that island. It's just never. I just
you did it twice.
Twice. This year.
The littlest one. Yeah.
And it's
Next
just
time we're going on a 2-seater.
but it's just amazing, you know. It's just, you know, back in the woods, way deep, the original people of Australia. You know, it's just
True, like
I don't. It's not even words for it. It's so amazing.
And it's vice versa. Like, for you guys to even jump on a plane, like having this big name and history and music for you guys to come to islands like that, it's just, you know, it just shows that how grounded you guys are, and you know how much you are family as well.
Most definitely.
So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, last time it was the Queen, and it's always somebody who significantly
Yes.
dawns on you. And then this time it was a smaller plane, but it was a little boy. You know what I mean? To see that we touched off some individuals, you know, real deep. You feel me? And, it's beautiful, bro.
Thank
It's
you.
always we go to TV.
Thank you, bro. Thank
Yeah.
you. I appreciate it.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much us. We're signing off, but thanks
Yep.
for watching. Yeah, thank you, DJ Yella, N.W.A, Lil Eazy-E, Eazy-E, the memory of Eazy-E, Code Black Records, yeah, and Reuben Events. Thank you, much love. Subscribe.